This is the video replication file for Lecture Prep 14 from the St. Louis University course, Intro to GIS. This lecture prep covers techniques for geocoding zip codes. So a scenario where we have a list of individuals or businesses whose zip code is known and a map of zip codes, but our list isn't georeferenced, so it doesn't contain any sort of latitude, longitude information or any census geography information. So what we'll do is use that reference list of geocodes to get our list of, in this case, individuals onto the map. So to begin, what we have here is a shapefile with zip code boundaries for the state of Pennsylvania. Really quickly, I'll add that zip code boundaries are very fuzzy. They're always changing. It's one of the reasons the Postal Service does not publish a comprehensive list of zip code boundaries or a shapefile of them. So geocoding with zip codes is always less accurate than geocoding with street addresses, which we'll cover in the lecture this week. Nonetheless, we have this rough map of zip code boundaries, and we also have a list of attendees for an event. We can open up that table, and you'll see we have street address information, we have the city of residence, the state, and for this exercise, the zip code. And what we'll want to do is take this zip code information and use it to get our individuals onto the map. So what we want to do first is create something called a address locator. So I'm going to look for the Chapter 8 Geodatabase following the book's instructions. We're going to right-click on the Geodatabase and go to New, Address Locator. The address locator is going to be the master list of zip codes that we'll use to reference when we want to geocode our table of attendees. So first we want to define the appropriate locator style. We'll click the Browse button next to Address Locator Style, and we're going to choose US Address Zip Code 5-digit. Next, we want to identify our reference data. This is that master list of zip codes. And finally, we want to specify our outputs. So we'll edit the field under Output Address Locator and call it PA Zip Codes. And then we want to make sure we uncheck Enable Suggestions. Then we'll click OK. Once the creation process is completed, we can close the window. And then our next step is going to be to open the Geocoder toolbar. So we can go to Customize, Toolbars, and choose Geocoding. In the toolbar, we want to go ahead and click on Geocode Addresses. We're going to make sure we choose our zip code address locator. Click OK. And then in the geocode address window, we're going to choose single field as our geocoding input. We're going to choose that zip code variable from the attendees table. And we're going to specify where we want our geocoded attendees list to be saved. So we'll put it right in that Chapter 8 Geodatabase. We'll rename it from the generic geocoding results to something more specific. And then we'll go ahead and click OK. The geocoding process is going to run depending on the speed of your computer. It may take more or less time. And you can see that some but not all of the zip codes are matched to our list. This is really common with geocoding. In this case, the unmatched observations are for zip codes outside of Pennsylvania. There are other reasons that we also see unmatched observations that we'll discuss more in class. Once we're done, we can close the geocoding toolbar and take a look at our map. And now we have point locations for all of our attendees projected on the map. And they'll be projected on the centroid for each zip code's polygon.